Hey guys, Silverwolf here. Today I'm going to quickly be going through week 1 of the 3v3 tournament of Grand Arena that just finished up. So I'm going to jump quickly into that. So for this match, let's see who it's against. It is against Seed. So looking at what Seed has in his lineup, it looks like he doesn't have anything too special. That Gear 12 Kylo Ren could be pretty important, but overall, I am going to be able to hopefully get a win in this battle here. You can see here that at the time of the recording, my Jedi Knight Revan was brand new. I actually just remodded him for a lot of extra speed, so he's going to be even more helpful in the future. But for this round against Seed, let me go ahead and pull up what he ended up doing. So he was able to get wins against my Hera defense and against my Bastila defense. The problem was my Bo-Katan team, which was also new at the time, did get a hold and then lost the second battle. And then my Jedi Knight Revan got a big hold and he was not able to break through the Revan. So all I need to do to get the win here is to get a full clear. So I'm going to start chewing away at that right here. So we got this team of Shock T plus Arc Trooper and Echo. And then we got a Captain Phasma team here, which I will be able to chew through really fast. So something that I have in mind here is getting the achievements done. And at this time, one of the achievements was to win a battle with 3 different variants of the Stormtrooper. So in order to do that, I'm going to take Stormtrooper, Snowtrooper, and Range Trooper against this not very good Phasma team. I'm actually going to have to use the same composition in my second Grand Arena battle this time. You'll see that later in the video, because I needed to win. I believe what I needed to do was kill 6 units with Stormtrooper variants. So obviously the easiest way to guarantee that the Stormtrooper will get the kill is to just use the Stormtroopers and Stormtroopers only. So against low-level first order characters here, that's what I'm obviously doing. And as you can see, I have superior firepower and health in this. So this battle is only going to last just another second. And here comes the final blow from Snowtrooper. So that's going to be 3 wins for the Imperial Squadron right there. So then seeing the back wall right here, he went heavy on the back wall. But I'm going to tackle that in just a minute. So as you can see here, I was able to get that feat for winning a Grand Arena battle using 3 variants of the Stormtrooper. And then you can see at the bottom there, defeat 6 enemy units in Grand Arena with Imperial Stormtroopers and their variants. So I'm going to go ahead and try that next Grand Arena. So now we move over here to the Shock T clones. It's actually Rex, not Echo. But either way, they are not very well geared either. So I'm going to come into this with my second tier Mandalorian team, led by the Armorer for all that extra protection. So getting a win here will pretty much guarantee that I get full banners. So Art's going to go off first, land that big hit. I'm going to try to knock out Rex right off the bat. Something else I've done recently is I geared up my armor so that she can actually be helpful, and she's been doing pretty good in what I put her in. So Rex should, there we go. Those counter attacks from Super Commando eat up on people if you're not careful. I'm hoping that someday I can find a really big team to use involving Gar Saxon, because I really like getting that extra attack off of the counter attack. I find it really helpful. But anyway, this team's not really doing much damage. They've almost chewed through the extra protection on the Super Commando, but I'm still churning ahead on this one. Shock T's going to keep getting a little bit of extra protection here and there. This armor shred's going to do a lot of damage. Let's see. As you can see, I put the Beskar armor on Super Commando so that protection probably won't go down. Alright, get some more Beskar armor here. Alright, reduce that turn meter. Armor is now going to get her 3rd stack of Beskar armor. So I can get some on Gar Saxon if I want. Never a bad idea. Alright, here's that second armor shred, and that's just about going to do it for Shock T, and once Shock T goes down, the Arc Trooper is going to go down pretty quickly. because if there's nothing holding him up and he can't stealth, he's pretty easy to hit. Alright, one more good hit should do it. There we go. So that takes care of the clone team. Not perfect banners, but I didn't need perfect banners. I just needed wins. So moving right along. Oh, I'm going to go right after ships right here. So by getting the third zone, being able to get through the ships will clinch a win. So I'm going to go ahead and just knock out that win right here. Send my fleets into battle. Let's see, we got Vader, the Gauntlet Fighter, and the TIE Bomber against Boba, Kylo Ren Unmasked, and Darth Vader. In this one, I'm going to try to take out that Darth Vader first. I found that Vaders usually have superior firepower to just about everything else in the battlefield. The exception being possibly Anakin and Ahsoka's TIEs. Okay, so that's going to knock out Kylo. Now I'm going to go after Vader. I think in that situation, while I normally would have gone for Vader's ship, Kylo's was a little more fragile, so I can hit it faster. So reduce some turn meter. Now Vader's got no choice here but to force a counterattack, but that's okay. Alright, big hit. Alright, and then those counterattacks, the retribution's starting to wear off. He did knock out my TIE Bomber, as you can see here, but that's nothing to worry about. Alright, so here comes the second reinforcement. This battle should be over with in just a second. It's just a matter of actually getting through it. That's half the trouble with fleet battles. You just have to survive long enough to get through them. Especially if you're like me and you love using the Thrawn finisher. If you use that, it's an insta-kill. It's really helpful. So, there's the fleet battle, 61 banners on that. Now I'm going to just skip ahead straight to the fun stuff. So we're going with Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, and Thrawn against the Jedi. Get some debuffs with Vader. Then I'm going to just go for Yoda right there. Did not get him, but that's okay. Get some ability blocks. Okay, get some more debuffs, and then with Palpatine's lead, Vader was able to take another turn. Yoda got his turn off, but that's okay. I am going to... What am I going to do? I'm going to throw another turn on the Vader. I'm just going to try and knock out Yoda at this point. There we go, Yoda's gone. So now I can fracture Basla, and the Consular's not going to do really much of anything. See that was not very substantial. I'm not sure why people would put teams like this on defense. They just really don't help. Because especially since if you have Yoda at that high a level, you have to have a 5th Jedi somewhere. I'd recommend just putting him on the team. Anyway, so there goes Consular. He didn't really do much. So I'm just going to finish off Basla right here. I'm not sure why I didn't use the Coaling Blade there, but that's okay. So that's going to be 53 banners. So then moving on to the last battle, we got Django, Mandalorian, and Boba against the Phoenix Squadron. So I'm going for... What am I going for? Alright, I'm just trying to kill him. I'm not really even trying to get the contract at this point. Those 20 debuffs just aren't very practical. Something else about my collection that I'm really happy about is I just got a Gear 12 Django. And I can tell he's already hitting really much. He's hitting a lot harder than pretty much anything else in my lineup. So I really look forward to using him in the future. So 53 banners there. Now I'm just going to come out here so we can see the final score quick. So 1,325 to, let me check my scorecard here, to 881. So that's going to do it for round 1. As you can see, I was able to win that pretty handily. So then round 2 right here. Let me see who this one's against. This one is against Lunchbox. Let me see what Lunchbox did on defense. So I put my Jedi Revan on defense again for this one, and Lunchbox was forced to use his high-level Geos against it. So he was able to get the win against Revan. That's not much of a surprise. Gear 12 against the Gear 8. The Gear 12 is going to win pretty much every time. But the big thing was to use that So what I did on defense for this that turned out to be the crucial blow was I put my Dooku lead with Django on defense. And then what happened is when Django is teamed up with a separatist leader, his contract triggers immediately. Now his contract involves damage immunity, so basically what that means is for the first 2 turns of the battle, the opponent can't damage Django in any way, shape, or form. They can only stun him. My Django's also a lot faster than most people expect it to be, so it goes first. So what ends up happening in this battle is Lunchbox tries to attack that Dooku, Django, and Zelbar team with his Poggle team, and then his Palpatine team, and both of them are going to end up losing. And then eventually he's able to take it on the 3rd try, and it looks like he is eventually able to get the full clear without the fleets. He doesn't do the fleet battle, it looks like. But, and it ends up not mattering because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to full clear on this one. Just double check that. But anyway, on the current matter, we have Mandalorians going up against Phoenix Squadron. This is a battle that pretty much explains itself. You basically just keep hitting Phoenix until they go away. That's how you get rid of them. Right here, it looks like I'm going to hit Hera, and Hera's just about gone. Let's see here. Now, the big key to this is that there's no Kanan on this team. If there was a Kanan on this team, this battle would look completely different. That's because when Kanan is with Phoenix Squadron, they all gain, I believe it's 5% health for every debuff that's inflicted on them. The thing about Canderous is he inflicts a lot of debuffs with all that damage over time. So anytime Canderous goes up against Kanan, he's not really able to beat him. He just kind of eats it. Kanan can pretty much just take anything that Canderous throws at him. But fortunately, there was no Canderous on this team, so I'm able to chew through it pretty quickly. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix Squadron. So moving right along, 54 banners, as you can see there. So he doesn't really have much of interest on the back wall, so I'm going to just try and knock that out early. But first I'm going to take out his big team with my Palpatine, Vader, Thrawn combo. So I'm going to get some massive debuffs going, but if I remember right, Bastila had her Zeta, so they all had a lot of extra tenacity, and I'm having a lot of trouble getting those debuffs to stick. So that's okay. So I'm going to just use basics here. Vader's basic is still pretty powerful. So jumping in with that, and then I'm going to try to apply the debuffs again. I get enough to stick that I can get an extra turn. Then I wipe out Ezra, and then I can start concentrating on Bastila because Kanan is fractured. He's not going to be doing anything for a while. So keep focusing on Bastila. Just start throwing as many hits on her as I can. Okay, so Bastila is gone. Get some of that protection back. Alright. Something I was trying to land there was some shock. If you can land shock on Kanan, he can't heal, so that's really crucial. That's alright. He doesn't really do much offense, so if I just take the hits that he gives me, that pretty much will do it. So 52 banners on that win right here. Next up, we're going to have Imperial Troopers versus the Boba Fett led team. So I'm just going to jump right into that. I use this team a lot in this round. Veers, Stark, and Range Trooper. Their kits just all work together a lot so that they can do a lot of assists, as you can see right here. Basically, in Range Trooper's kit, when an ally with buffs attacks, they can assist each other, basically. So it's really helpful. You can just start spamming a lot of attacks if you get the first turn. So as you can see, 54 banners on that. Nothing really important to tell. So then I'm going to go for that Stormtrooper feat again, trying to get some extra kills with Stormtrooper variants. So jumping into that with these guys. So then I'm just going to basically, there's not much of a strategy to this, you're just trying to overpower them. That's about all it's going to come down to. Alright. The problem I ran into really fast here was that they were able to stun lock me with the Night Sister Spirit. I also realized just how quickly that spirit can gain foresight. It can gain foresight really fast. So they were able to churn through my guys pretty quickly on this one. I am going to be able to knock out the Acolyte in just a minute to get a second Stormtrooper kill. Alright. So they're still chewing away at that. Stormtrooper's about to go. Okay, so Stormtrooper got his kill, and then they immediately killed him. But that's easily cleaned up. And the goal was achieved. I got the kills with Stormtrooper, so I'm just going to march in with Boba quick. And then get the healing immunity. She dodged it. She dodged it again. Goodness, that Night Sister Spirit dodges a lot. And then she's not dodging the rocket. So, 34 banners on that. Definitely workable with. And then for the last battle of this arena, I'm going to do Mace Windu's ship versus my Chimera. So, not much of a strategy to this. You figure out basically what the biggest attacker is. You go after them first, especially if there's no tank. You wait for Ahsoka to trigger her own buffs, and then you take them away. Learning people's kits is so important for this game. If you don't know what the opponent's AI is going to do next, it's really a setback. Alright, so this battle's pretty much over right here. They're going to land one little hit. And then one of the great things about Vader is that his attack cannot be evaded, so the foresight from the Phantom 2 does not matter at all. So I was able to get pretty much perfect banners on this. Alright, so at the time of the recording, Lunchbox hadn't attacked yet, but looking at the stats on swgoh.gg, which has all the records from Grand Arenas and things like that, I was able to see that I beat Lunchbox 1,313 to 1,291. And as you can see here, I was able to get several other key achievements for the Grand Arena. So looking at my overall score here, let me see if I do that. There it is. You can see that at this point I'm ranked number 1. Now obviously I don't finish that high, but ranking number 1 in the world isn't something that just anyone can say they've done. I'm not going to think about that too hard though. I'm just going to go right into the next battle. So the third one of the first week is against Cool Mans. And then let me see here. Okay, so Cool Mans actually did not attack me, so he auto-deployed his defense, if I remember correctly, and that ended up costing me a lot of ratings points, because he put his best stuff on defense accidentally. So, basically the highlight of him right here is he's got a Relic 6 Grievous. Now, for those of you who have studied my roster in any way, shape, or form, you know full well that I have nothing that can counter a Relic 6 Grievous. So that's something I'm going to end up struggling with a lot, especially because I went a little heavier on the defense with this. As you can see, I saved my Revan for defense and my Dooku. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up against his auto-deployed defense of Newt, Chief Chirpa, and Logray. The best thing I could think to combo this was my Imperial troopers. In hindsight, I'm not really sure why I did this. I think I was trying to get Piet's Emperor's Trap on Stormtrooper and try to just spam hits through that. So I'm just going to basically button mash here. Just do the basic attack over and over again and hope for the best. Because they don't really have a way to get around that taunt. So I'm just going to keep going with this. Alright. And then this battle's going along pretty slowly, so I'll try to keep you all occupied. So basically the strategy of this is Piet puts the force mark on Stormtrooper, Stormtrooper eats up a ton of hits, and because he doesn't contribute anything to offense, nothing is lost in that. And then when Stormtrooper dies with the 20 stacks of inevitable failure, the red dot up there, Piet gains a lot of extra health, protection, offense, and a little bit of speed too. So the thought behind this is that once Piet gains all that Emperor's Trap, he's able to get a lot more abilities. Now, as you can see, that doesn't really work for me here. The Ewoks were able to daze and slow me down enough that that wasn't really an option at any point in time. So it was pretty much just a wasted offense on my part. I was able to get through the first Newt revive, but then they defeated me pretty easily. So, moving on to the next attempt, I'm going to go with my other Imperial Trooper team, because if one doesn't work, obviously the next one's going to, right? And as it turns out, in this case, it does end up working out. So I'm going to just keep throwing hits at them. There goes the first Newt revive. Don't forget that when Newt is defeated the first time, he automatically revives, unless you hit him with something that doesn't allow revives, like, say, Boba or Django's attacks. So I'm just going to try and knock out the second Newt here, and that's basically going to slow this team down a ton. Then you just got a bunch of murder bears running around in the Cloud City of Bespin, as you can see in the background. So I just keep spamming hits on them until they go away, basically. Move over to Logray, knock out Chirpa in the process, and this battle is over. So I was able to get through that. Like I said, Cool Man's never attacked me, so it's not super important in the end as to what ends up happening. So in his back wall, he had some more auto-deployed stuff, Magna Guard-led team. Definitely don't recommend that. And then an Ewok Elder-led team with Hera and Tebow. Definitely some unique combinations here. So for the first team, the Magna Guard team, I'm going to end up using my Mandalorians. I've almost got my armor up to 5 stars now from the forced farming that finally opened up for her. So going to just start getting hits on him. And let's see here. Go for the AoE. I'm just trying to knock out Poggle as quick as I can, because I don't like that ability block. It's really annoying, and it's not very helpful. So get the Beskar armor on Mando to give him some defensive viability. And then I'm just going to start getting armor shreds when I can. Knock out Poggle, that's going to help a lot. Go for Poplu. And here comes another armor shred. The armor shreds on this team can do some serious damage, seeing as how they block out defense by 50%. So there's another armor shred. And I'm just going to keep attacking. Especially at the beginning stages when you don't have enough offensive power to just knock out people in a couple turns. You just have to go for defensive viability sometimes. Just keep your characters around long enough and they'll land the hits. So that's what half of this is right here. Neither of these teams have enough offense to really do much, but they both have a ton of defensive capability. So in this case, my Mandalorians are just waiting out the Separatists, just eating away at them, knocking them out little by little, and they will eventually be able to get the win. Alright, so this win is coming right now. So 53 banners on this. And next what I'm going to do is use my Bastila lead team against these Ewoks and Hera. Great combination. Definitely recommend using that anytime you can. So first thing I'm going to do is get the buffs on Ezra. I'm going to try and knock out the Ewok Elder so that he can't revive anybody, because nobody likes it when people get revived after you've already beaten them once. So next I'm going to go for Tebow. Just try and knock him out quick. See, this team has some offense. It can actually churn through stuff pretty quickly. Alright. Try and knock out Hera any second now. Let's see, this might knock out Tebow. There we go, Tebow's gone. And here comes Hera. There we go. So I was able to get through that. And now I'm just going to try and beat that Relic Grievous. So my first attempt here is with my Palpatine, Vader, and Snowtrooper. I tried to save the throne for a little bit later. One thing I didn't expect was the stealth that Dooku threw in, and that messed me up a lot because it meant that I couldn't use Merciless Massacre on Grievous. That was my initial plan. Just try and spam a lot of debuffs, take out as much of Grievous as I could on the first try. As you can see, that did not work at all. So I'm going to just try and do what I can here. Just going to try and knock out some people. And 2 debuffs is not enough to knock out a General Grievous. So I'm not even going to try at that point. So I was able to get the Super Battle Droid out, which in theory could have contributed to some helpful stuff in the future, but it's not going to end up being enough. I'll just show my next attempt, because that one actually does do a little bit of damage. So next I'm going to use Boba Fett, Bosk, and Han Solo. My goal here was to try and stun Grievous so that I could concentrate. I'm actually going to stun Dooku so that I can try and just knock him out quick. But Dooku immediately eats up the stun and refreshes. At this point, I didn't have a very high gear Han, so that didn't help much at all. See, I'm just going to keep trying to eat at Dooku, as you can see. And this is not going to go well, as you could probably figure out. It doesn't take a genius to do that math. That Grievous is about to eat my entire team alive. There goes Boba, and on to the rescue is not going to happen. So that's going to end up doing it for this. I end up doing a couple more attempts on this team, but nothing comes up of it. And in the end, I end up winning 889 to 428, with Coolmans taking the forfeit for not showing up at all. So that's going to do it for this video. If you've stuck around